Well, good Friday morning, IBC family. First of all, I wanted to say thank you to Pastor Tom for just his rich encouragement to us on Tuesday, really focusing on not only the defense but the offense aspect of the season of life that we're in, and just the opportunities that you and I both have to serve and to love our neighbors and to love our family members, to love our church family members. And so thank you, Pastor Tom, for your encouragement in that way to us. You know, I know it's been, at least for us Washingtonians, about 2 weeks now into our quarantine. And the questions that kind of come to my mind when I think about you is, how are you adjusting? What are the things that God is teaching you? How is He growing you? Are there marks that you can identify in your own life that God is helping you? Perhaps even, as we spoke on last week, last Sunday's service, about some habits that maybe we're displacing and replacing with better habits, better patterns, better rhythms in our life. You know, I'm always encouraged by the verse in Hebrews 10, verse 24, where it says, "Let us consider or think about ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good deeds." And I love that verse because it tells me the way in which I'm motivated to be faithful to opportunities that God gives me is by how you are being faithful, in opportunities that God has given you. In other words, the body encourages the body. The body takes care of the body. The body helps encourage the body to be faithful with one another as well as to the world and the community in which we live. You know, one of the things that I just got to experience this past week was, first of all, earlier in the week, someone called me, a longtime family friend. I don't even know her that well, but we kind of grew up together. She's my parents' peer, and she kind of lives in the area now. She called me out of the blue after years of not ever talking, and she just called to encourage me. And I was in fact encouraged by her call. And as we got to kind of catch up a little bit and see how things are going, she just told me that the past couple of years were very difficult for her. And she's already been in quarantine actually since last November. And so this whole new quarantine thing is nothing new to her. But so she was feeling pretty depressed. She was not doing well. She was going through a lot of counseling, actually years of counseling. And then all of a sudden just dawned on her. And she just said the Lord just finally turned a light on her and said, "I have an amazing opportunity in ministry. And though I can't leave the house, though it's not wise for me to leave the house, I can call people and minister people." And she said this, "I have a purpose." And so she's like so full of life and so full of joy. And she's like, "I have a purpose. And now I'm just calling everybody I know and calling everybody just to touch base with them, to encourage them, to pray for them." And I was like, that is amazing. So for you who are maybe stuck in your house and you don't think you have much of a ministry because you can't go anywhere, please be encouraged by this fact that you have an amazing opportunity. You have an amazing ministry to encourage people right in their homes, right from your own home. Just the other day, I was talking to another friend in our church. He's one of the younger families in our church, and he was another source of encouragement to me. And I was asking him how things are going and how his family's adjusting. He was saying, you know, someone that God had brought in who has already been a part of their life. He said God laid it on their heart to give to their friend financially because he lost his job and because he came from a certain religious background that ostracized him. We see that he has no longer does he have family to help him out, but he has no job and he's really stuck and doesn't know what to do. And so God led this family to give him money and to help pay his mortgage and to really help him out and keep him going in life. And what brother said, he said, "This is the most money we've given to anybody at any time in our life. And yet we feel so compelled by God to do this." And even after I got off the phone, talking to this dear brother in our church, I was so encouraged because it started making me ask the questions, "Lord, who is it that you are calling me? Who is it you calling our family to go minister to, not just verbally, but also in the most practical of ways?" It's incredible. Even reading in Psalm chapter 41 earlier this week in our IBC reading plan, I was able to relay this to my dear brother because I had read it that morning. David says this, "Blessed is the one who considers the poor." In the day of trouble, the Lord delivers him. The Lord protects him and keeps him alive. He is called blessed in the land. You do not give him up to the will of his enemies, and the Lord sustains him on his sickbed. In his illness, you restore him to full health. Just this morning, I'm able to read that and reflect upon that. And then I hear this amazing story by my dear brother, and I'm just like, wow, Lord, you are going to bless them. And I love how our church family, many families within our church family, are able to be a blessing and to show God's love and generosity to the community and their peers around them. And so, to IBC family, I just want to encourage you, continue to seek the Lord and ask him what he is calling you to do. And I want to ask you to do this because I believe this is how we can encourage one another. I want to ask you to either email the church office, or you can just post on social media. That's okay too. And but I want you to, if you could email the church office or even leave a message for the church office, and basically in a very short way, just say, this is how the Lord has called me, or this is the opportunities the Lord has given to me to be faithful and to make much of Jesus. And I believe as we start compiling these stories that we're able to be a rich source of encouragement. If you want to give your name, you can. If you don't want to give your name, that's okay. But I want the body to be encouraged by your faithfulness. So if you could do that, you can email the church. You can go right to the website and contact us and just leave a message that way if you want. Or you can call and leave a message, and we'll start compiling these stories of your faithfulness so that it would spur us on to continued faithfulness. God bless you, IBC family. We'll see you this Sunday at 9 a.m.